Let's talk about the family. Before we get to the grammar challenge, the first grammar challenge for the family chapter, well, we need to talk a little bit about the grammar. What are you going to do to talk about your family, my older brother, my father, my mother? You're going to need a possessive marker, and that's what this "de" is all about. This "de" is actually one of the most common characters in all of Chinese. It'll show up the most out of anything, so learning how to write this character is really good for you. The usage of it is really pretty straightforward. You just put in your subject here before the "de", and then after the "de" comes whatever is being possessed. So you can have pronouns before the "de". We can put in the most common pronoun here that you all know, 我. Now that would work. You could also put 你 or 他 if you're talking about other people. So experiment with those and see what you can come up with there. And then let's move on to another big grammar point here. 个 is the next big thing you're going to need when you're talking about a family. 个 is a special kind of word. It's called a measure word in Chinese. And we have these things in English too, but we don't use them nearly as much as we do in Chinese. So things like a bunch of flowers, a bouquet of flowers, a piece of paper or a sheet of paper. These descriptive words, what we might call a descriptive word in English, is really kind of a classifier in Chinese, and they're necessary when we talk about things when we might not need it in English. So when we talk about people, there's a person, that article that we use, a person, may sometimes people sometimes describe that as being a classifier, but really it goes beyond that. So this "ge" is the classifier or the measure word for people. So anytime you have a number of people, and again this is going to be kind of similar to the "de" pattern, you put the number here in front of the "ge". So this could be number 1, this could be number 2, could be anything, and then you put the word for people like after that. And "ge" is kind of the useful measure word because it's kind of the catch-all measure word. If you don't know the real measure word for something like cows, you can always use "ge" in its place, and that'll work, and people will understand you just fine. So even if you're talking about one person, you need 一个人. If you're talking about two people, 两个人, three people, 三个人, and so on and so forth. So 个 is the actual measure word for people, so that's a good one to know for this lesson. And then finally that takes us to the grammar challenge. So let's talk a little bit about this grammar challenge here. The grammar challenge for this week is to create some questions that you can use to find out more about your teacher's family. So you're going to need to combine some of that stuff. You're probably also going to need to use question pronouns. You're probably going to need to use a question pronoun like ji would be a good one to use for how many. And you probably need to use the possessive, the 有. You'll probably need that too. And then don't forget to put in, oops, let me get that other stroke in there for you, if I can. Don't forget to put in the possessive if you need it, the 的, 裴老师的家, or 你的家, 他的家, or and then also any kind of measure words if you're talking about 一个 something, one brother, 一个哥哥, or 两个妹妹, that kind of thing. So make sure you use them all and come up with questions, and we'll see you in class.